Hi, welcome back to the Lymph Well space. Today is video 2, which we're going to be covering hydration. But first off, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who watched the first video that was about busting some lymphatic myths and included some self-care practices of deep diaphragmatic breathing. And I just loved hearing your goal setting, what you guys are going to be doing for starting off your foundation at your baseline, which is so great. And hearing those goals of short-term goals, long-term goals, it was so awesome. And some of you even tried the deep breathing techniques, and that's amazing. Some of the things I want to talk about today are hydration, which is another really simple thing that we can do for lymphedema. A lot of these self-care things are simple. They're things we already do in our day, and they're low cost, which is really wonderful. And that's why I want to teach you about it, because there's so many wonderful things that you can do for your health to make your lymphedema better. And they're right at your fingertips, and they don't cost oodles of money. I know how expensive lymphedema can be. I have lymphedema myself. If you haven't met me before, my name's Amy. I am a herbalist. I am a yoga teacher. I also used to be a health librarian, worked in hospitals, different health research institutes, things like that. And I love questions. I love questions. And people bringing them to me was like the highlight of my day, to get to see what they're working on and to help them answer their questions, and then get to see them apply it to patient care and improved outcomes. Like, that was something growing up with a rare condition with lymphedema that motivated me to end up working as a health librarian, because there was you might have experienced this too, but there were so many moments, like as a kid with lymphedema, where like even clinicians, you're expecting them to have all the answers, and they say lympho what? And you realize, wait, they don't know what it is either. And so it made me curious and just wanting to, help things get better. So yeah, I'm a lymphedema advocate. I work with different researchers. I'm doing this thing on my own, helping teach people about lymphedema self-care. I love teaching about self-care. It's been one of my superpowers. So yeah, to give you a case study of like, can self-care really make a difference? Like, is it all like a hoax? Does it really do stuff for us? And I want to tell you it does. And I'll give you a little bit of story. For me, since I've had lymphedema, since I was a kid, I was healthy for a long time, and then I got into a state where I started getting cellulitis infections. And if you've ever had those, you know how debilitating they are. You also might be aware that once you get one, you're more likely to get another one. So I got into a state where I was getting them like pretty severely each time I would get one. It would be pretty strong. And I would get one at least once a year until I got to a point in my 30s where I was getting them quite often, and they were just getting worse and worse and growing faster and faster, to a point where some health professionals were telling me, like, Amy, there's a chance, like, if it keeps continuing like this, like, you could lose your legs. And I just thought, that's a horrifying experience as a new mom. And my kids were both like under 3 at that time, and I thought, okay, there has to be something more out there. There has to be some better answers. There has to be different ways of caring for people with lymphedema that I just don't know about. Because up until that time, I was considered a really compliant patient according to Western medicine. I wore my compression consistently, like every day, 23 hours a day. I took care with what I ate, according to them. I exercised. I did what I could to reduce stress. And to them, they couldn't see what else I could possibly do to reduce my risk of infections. And it was just probably something I was gonna have to live with. Well, I didn't like that answer. And as being a librarian, I was like not satisfied with that answer. So I made it my personal mission to find out what other forms of self-care can I do to help my lymphedema. And I've turned it into a business. Yeah, my Lymphewell business is that. I am here to teach you guys about what you can do for your lymphedema, and that's already maybe part of your routine, or low cost, or something you can include without much much friction, I guess. Much change to your daily routines or things like that. And yeah, I think that's an amazing thing. So today I want to talk about hydration. The way we have learned about hydration in our Western societies is really different than how our ancestors were hydrating themselves, drinking water, consuming water, what they were doing to the water before they drank it. Really different than what we do now. It's pretty common to see nowadays, like almost everybody has a reusable water bottle that carries with them, and that is great. But there's also studies that say like 45% of people aren't consuming the minimum amount of water that they need to be consuming every day. And that includes foods too, like watery foods, but you should be consuming half an ounce of water for every pound in your body. So if you weighed 180 pounds, the amount of water you would drink is 90 ounces, which works out to about almost 3 liters or 11 cups. It's like 2.7 liters, I think. Is just to give you a ballpark. So think about what that would be like. I'm just gonna put some things here to show you. Like this holds not quite a liter, a little bit less than a liter. It's copper. Another great tool for water. I'll talk about that in a membership more. This holds like 750 milliliters. So these two together would be like 1.4 liters. This is like, if this was full, this would be like another liter. So now we're up to 2.4 liters, and you could still drink more. So think about if you're drinking that much a day, including tea, coffee, and foods, things like that. Like watery foods count, like water foods like melons, cucumber, plums, peaches, are really good for you too. Like they just have a lot of water in them. Zucchini is another great one. Tomatoes, and what's really interesting about those things, instead of just tap water, is it's living water. It's full of minerals, it's full of electrolytes. So there's all this hype about like getting enough electrolytes and adding it to your water. How our ancients would have done it, or our ancestors would have done it, is consuming food with our water, such as putting berries in your water. I'm just gonna do this while we talk, but I'm gonna show you. I have some frozen berries that I thawed, and I just want to show you how pretty the water is going to turn just by adding this to this. So yeah, there's lots of different ways you can hydrate and make it flavorful. You don't just have to drink plain water. In fact, I encourage you not to drink plain water, but do something to it. Add berries, add lemon slices. Look how pretty that is. So it's just full of minerals, right? Natural electrolytes. You can also sprinkle a little bit of salt in your beverages. A great recipe for making your own natural electrolyte drink. I have up on my blog, on my website. But I'm going to show you it today too, just while we're chatting. Is you would take limes or lemons. Lemons are a little bit more warming, so they're kind of nicer in like cooler times of the year. Like they're nicer in, say, fall, winter, things like that. Or when you've got like, when your immune system's down, like you've got a cold, you got a fever, your body's fighting some germs, lemons would be really great. Limes are a little bit more cooling, so they are really nice for summer, and that's where you'll see them like with lots of different summer dishes. Even in hibiscus water, or hibiscus tea, it's really nice. So it is still pretty summery here, so I'm gonna slice up lime. And yeah, just look at all that water. That is basically all water and fiber, which are also lovely for our guts. I'm gonna just add it to my beverage here. I'm squeezing it a little bit just to help release that water into there. And then I'm just gonna put the whole slice in so that some of the compounds that are in the peels will get in my water too. That's where like a lot of the essential oils, the fragrance of these are. And it's always good to use organic citrus if you can find it. So I'm just gonna add this here. This is gonna be so delicious. Other things you can add to your water to make it more flavorful and just add some electrolytes is cucumber is a great one. I've got a little bit of mint and lemon balm here, and I'm gonna cut up. Yeah, so one of the ways to increase our water is just to drink more. One of the challenges that I have for you today is before you have your coffee in the morning, have 1 to 2 cups of water, just to give your body that natural hydration. There's this practice in Ayurveda that is called Upanishad, and what it does is it's just flushing the body or rehydrating the body after sleep. So as soon as you get up, you would drink 1 to 2 cups of warm water, and that's just to rehydrate the tissue, but also to help our body release waste that it has been collecting all night. So that's why we get up and we have to go pee, and all that. So yeah, so that's my challenge for you, is to try and have 1 to 2 cups of water before you have your coffee. There's so much to know about hydration that I'm just going to give you little bits and pieces of it today. You could write a whole book on it, or I could write a whole book on it. So what else do you need to know about hydration that's helpful is knowing when to hydrate. Like, you know, I'm saying like have 3 liters of water a day as a lymphy, and that is going to be really great. But when should you have that 3 liters of water? The best advice I can give you for that is to have it throughout the day. Just like spread it. And if you want to follow the ancient practices, it would be to have it like with something, like with some natural like foods such as cucumber, limes, lemon, mint, just to give it some flavor, because then it makes it really nice. It's energizing. It helps replenish the water better in our body. So if we're dehydrated, this is way more hydrating than the same volume of water that's just out of the tap, which is kind of cool to think about. So now you're making your body work smarter instead of making it work harder. And that's what I'm all about, is doing that. So yeah, so you've seen some tips today as to what you can do with hydration. Other things you can do is you can put your water in vessels like copper, which is wonderful. It helps electrify the water. It makes it more beneficial to the body, which is really awesome. Plus it just looks so cool, right? It's so pretty. I love it. That's what we drink out of as a family for dinner time. Yeah, have your water throughout the day. Have like, you know, half a cup to a cup before you have your meal is a really nice time to have like a little bit extra, versus like having a whole bunch of liquid with your meal isn't really a great idea. It's a good idea to have some for sure, but that shouldn't be the time that you have the most water. Time to have the most water would be like between meals, after exercise, when you wake up is a really good time. Not a whole bunch before you go to bed, because you might just have to get up and visit the loo. So try and like spread it out during the day. If 3 liters sounds like a lot to you, is like start small. Is like add 1 to 2 cups a day. your routine, and just slowly kind of keep increasing that until you get to 3 liters, or you get to a point that you're really comfortable with that amount, and just kind of keep adding to it. I definitely noticed a difference when I've like paid attention to my hydration. Like when I have in the morning, I love making like lemon honey water. Oh yeah, sweetening your water with like a little bit of honey or a little bit of maple syrup actually makes it more beneficial for your cells. You don't have to do it every time, but sometimes is really nice for that. If you're sugar sensitive, like you have diabetes, or you have to really watch your sugar intakes, and even natural sugars isn't accessible to you, then you might want to just, you know, put in some stevia leaves or something like that. You might find it sweet enough with just the fruit, and that is wonderful too. Yeah, so there's lots of different things to think about when it comes to water hydration. Oil hydration is a whole other topic, and it's something our body needs as well. That is a topic I'm going to delve into in the membership, and I really hope that you will come on by to hear what that's all about. It's a really neat one. So I just want to take a moment and just give you a little bit of a recap of what we talked about today. So in terms of water, yeah, take it slow, take it small. If you feel like you don't like plain water, do what I did and add some flavor to it. If you feel like it's too much to drink, just slowly increase it a little bit at a time. 2 challenges that I have for you today are drink 1 to 2 cups of water when you first wake up before your coffee. And the other one is, if you're a soda drinker, replace that with some healthy alternatives like sparkling mineral water, or like if you have like a soda stream machine at home, just like sparkling bubbly water. It can actually make you feel more full. So if you're, one of the tips I heard from a nutritionist it was from Dr. Mindy Pels, is saying you know, drinking carbonated water can act, and it has minerals in it as well, can be really good for you for helping to lose weight, because it'll make you feel more full. And that, so, and you can add flavor to it too, like put like a slice of lime in it, slice of lemon, things like that. I will do that when I go out somewhere and everybody else is having like an alcoholic drink, is I just make myself a fancy soda. Is the last one to bring me like some limes and lemons and club soda, and then just make myself a nice bubbly drink and squeeze the lemon and the lime, and just that sensation of the smell and the taste of it is usually enough for me to not even feel bad that I'm not having an alcoholic drink, because I don't want one. It makes me like swell. So I find other ways to make life enjoyable so that you don't feel that lack, and that's really important too, is not to have that FOMO, but like think about what can you do instead. That would be just as lovely for yourself. So think about, I want you to weigh yourself and see how much you weigh, and then think about how many ounces of water you need. So it's half an ounce to 1 pound of body weight. And then you can translate that into cups, into liters for yourself, and just give yourself that task of doing that. And the other challenge is the drinking the water. You're gonna try and just do that. And I'd love to hear like how it goes for you. I think that would be really, really wonderful to increase your hydration. It's something easy you can do. It's something free or relatively low cost if you're gonna buy some berries. These are just from things from my garden, other than the limes. I got those from the local shop just down the street. So yeah, there's lots of little things that you can do, and I hope I've inspired you to drink differently, to hydrate yourself, and to realize you might be a little dehydrated, which we all are, including myself. I have to consciously think about like having enough water during the day, just because we get busy, we get running around doing stuff, and then we realize, oh my gosh, I haven't had a sip of water in a while. So think about how you can like habit stack it for yourself so you remember. And we're gonna have one more video, and it's gonna talk about the importance of skincare, and I'm gonna introduce the concept of the 4 T's, I call them, in my skincare routine. And this is something I developed for myself, so that it could remind me of all the things that I should be checking, and made it in a way that was fun for me. So what are the 4 T's? They are texture, temperature, tenderness, and I forget the 4th one. Texture, temperature, tenderness, and tightness. Yeah, tightness. And those are really good indicators of your skin health. And so we're going to talk about that and ways to keep your skin healthy that you might be doing, might not be doing, and what that can do for your lymphedema. Skincare is like so important. Something I learned later in life, and I'm really glad I did. I'm going to be sharing some Ayurvedic wisdom, especially from the perspective of just skincare. Skin health is so important to taking care of lymphedema for sure. And I'd love to see you back here. Thanks so much for watching, and share your comments below. Was this exciting for you? And if you haven't seen video 1, there should be linked up there for you to watch it. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Take care. So good. I hope you will give herbal water a try. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you put in your water. Maybe it's ginger, lemon lime, berries. There's so many things available at this time of year. Have fun with it. Stay tuned.